What's up, Y.B.E? I'm Dalen, and I'm here with the owner of the Black Genius Art Show.
Hey, what's up? I'm Brian Robinson. Let's take a tour of Genius Juice Studios. Are we here? We still rolling?
Yes.
All right, well, welcome inside. So here at the Black Genius Art Show, it's a collection of hangable art and wearable art. So you can hang the art, wear the art, become the art. I'm a filmmaker and 2D animator. A lot of my pieces are based off of two-dimensional animated characters. Started the brand in 2000. Y'all didn't get the memo that we are filming. Now inside the Black Genius Art Show, it's kind of hectic in here because that's how art is. But here we have hangable art and we have wearable art. I'm a filmmaker, 2D animator. A lot of my pieces are two-dimensional animated characters. And you look on the walls, you can see some of the pieces. Let me take you on the tour. Follow me. You gotta be with me. You gotta be with me. This is actually on styrofoam. So it's like one of my bigger pieces on styrofoam.
How long did it take you to do this?
Maybe a day, a couple hours. Yeah, it's called Queen of Everything. Recycled styrofoam made into art. Yashiki-yo. So inside here we do a lot of artist shows from one day to month-long installations. We have anything from book signing, open mic, any kind of creative element can be inside here. We're always rotating this area so other artists can be featured as well. Follow me to show you more. Trying to keep it spicy. So as you can see, we work with a lot of other creatives throughout the city. As far as our campaigns, we like to take other, from poets to MCs, fashion designers, we like to mix them up into our brand so we can always share that energy and create some cool campaigns. Back here are some of our newest pieces. These are our brain shirts. That's all I got. It's a brain shirt. All right, so in the back, it's kind of messy back here because we do a youth camp. But if you come in the back, this is our second part of the gallery space that I call Gallery 66. I call it Gallery 66 because my father passed when he was 66. So as a commemoration to him, I made this area back here to kind of, pay homage to him. A lot of my original pieces also have a 66 in it. That's a fun fact. So back here, you see more of our collection, some of our bucket hats on our wall here. Y'all gonna edit this, right? I'm closing doors and stuff. So you have some of our products you can see from the bucket hats that we call thinking caps.
How much are the bucket hats?
That's why you gotta get all in here. You supposed to get all
Oh yeah, I am.
Alright.
Alright, so how much is the bucket hats?
So the bucket hats start at $40. And that's basically the price we go with those $40 bucket hats. We call them thinking caps because they got a brain on top. You get it?
Yeah, I get
Thinking caps. And we also have like socks, but we call these thinky socks, like stinky socks, but thinky because it got a brain on it. Alright, so you got that.
What made you want to start doing this?
Alright, so what made me want to start doing this?
Yeah.
So I was, these characters I was doing in middle and high school. So when I was in the back of the classroom not paying attention to the teacher, I was drawing these fast animated characters like in a couple seconds. So I was just doing these characters throughout middle school and high school, and it just became that go-to drawing I like to put on paper.
So what made you want to do like clothes, like put it on clothes and stuff?
So what happened is, as I wanted to start, in 2013 I had stopped doing art. And I wanted another way to create and share my stories. So what I started doing is I started taking those animated drawings I did in middle and high school and I put them on Facebook. And people start seeing these illustrations and saying, oh wow, I thought you did film. I know you did, you draw. I was like, yeah, I do. So the feedback I was getting from social media allowed me to come up with these other random characters. And in 2014, it became my brand. One time I called these boneheads because they had big eyes and their nose, it was similar to a bone. And then I switched it to something more powerful. So I went with the culture of like using black as a means to name my brand. And it has so many different meanings. Black can mean powerful, bold, and the civil rights movement. It has so many different meanings. So I use that in my brand. It's the culture. People say, oh, you did it because you're black. That's why it's called no, but it's actually, in a lot of my pieces, I use black as my final color to make all my images pop a little bit around the border. The genius part comes with other creatives that I borrow from the old school to the new school, from Marvin Gaye to underground poets. I put that all into my work, and that's that genius element where you can take another creative mind and bond with it artistically and have it come out in your brand. And the art show is, you know, whatever you got it on, it's part of the show. No matter where you see it, whether it's hanging on the wall, you're wearing it. It continues the brand. And I'm an educator as well, so I also teach with the art.
Is it a meaning for these pictures?
Yeah, so every character has, you know, a story. If you find any character, I can tell you.
So what's his?
So that's Theodore right there. So Theodore is actually my father. So that's actually how I remember seeing him. Sometimes in the East Baltimore house, he'd be sitting in the living room after work, nothing but his pajamas on, sitting by the chair, just chilling and falling asleep like that. So that piece I call Theodore, which is one of my installations, basically.
Okay, what's the piece? Like, what's the piece mean in the big one right there, in the middle?
Oh, you want to go back out there?
Yeah.
Follow us. We can allow you. I don't have to edit this together. I got to edit this. Right here.
No.
Yes, you can. You edit what?
So this piece is called Kids Like It. So I did that piece based off of people who may have lost loved ones, and they came back in the form of a robot. So when I did this one right here, I was actually in my classroom teaching the kids. So while I was creating, they was telling me things they like. So I call this piece Kids Like It. And it's basically showing how youth can be, you know, overcome with technology, the internet, iPads, television. So I created that piece to show how sometimes taking too much of that in can get you sick. So it kind of created a sense of like, what's the word? Like each kid has on the same uniform. They have on orange shirts and blue jeans with a barcode. So it's kind of showing like how they can be in this system of being, I guess, a slave to technology. And that's why I call Kids Like It.
Was there other parts of the tour?
I mean, well, yeah, it's a whole bunch. I want to quick B-roll again. Yeah, I can be starting over. Come on through. Oh yeah, we ain't the camera against the tour. Let's see my good B-roll. You got belts, anything from belts. It's normally much neater in here, but we got the belts right there. These are most of our go-to shirts here. A lot of our shirts, because I paint, is I take the painting, get it fabricated, and once it's fabricated, we're able to take the images and have it sewn on different garments. Really sporadic. So you might find this color and this art, but it might not be in another size. This piece is called MJ.
Why you call it MJ?
I call it MJ because he either looks like the Michael Jordan logo or he looks like Michael Jackson. So either way, it's gonna be an MJ.
Hey Y.B.E, it's Eric, and today I'm with Brian Robinson, the owner of the B.A.E Art Show. And today I wanted to ask you, can you tell me more about your business and what do you do?
Sure, I am Brian Robinson, owner and creator of the Black Genius Art Show. I'm an artist. I'm a creative from film to animation. That's like my background is film and animation. And what I do now, I have a gallery space. So inside this gallery space, I house art that's both hangable and wearable. I've been doing this since 2014. The name of the shop is called Genius Juice Studios. Under the name Black Genius Art Show, we do anything from one-day art shows to month-long exhibitions. The good thing about art that makes it different is that I start with these drawings of these animated characters, and from that I get it put on anything from wearable garments to hats, socks, belts, accessories, stickers. Yeah, it's like a whole experience.
Well, can you tell me what inspired you to become an artist and where did you learn how to get this talent?
I think what inspired me to become an artist was the fact that I was the youngest of 4. You know, I was the baby of the family, so I always had to be creative. Because when my older siblings left the house, I needed something to do. So I would be creative. I played with Legos. I learned how to build things.
I love Legos.
Legos is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So I learned how to, build different environments and story concepts with the Legos, and that's kind of like my earlier days as a creative, as a child. Then I started to draw. I just draw stuff from comic books and things like that. Then eventually I wanted to create my own characters. And I started doing these characters in middle and high school called Boneheads, which was these quick, sketchy, 2D inspired characters that had exaggerated features, big eyes, big noses. The noses resembled a bone. And that's how the name Boneheads came. So since then, I've always been creative doing that. As I got older, I got into film as well. where I was able to direct music videos, documentaries. I love also telling stories with a camera, so it's like a different kind of paintbrush. The thing about it is painting came much later in life. Painting didn't come until 2014. Yeah.
Well, how are you working with the other youth workers this year?
The other youth workers this year came in through the Youth Works program, so they came into the building. I believe they were selected, as far as their interest. But they came into our studio space, and the first day I was able to introduce myself to them and see where they were coming from, what their interests were. Then once we met in the middle, then it was magic. That's when I'm myself, and they can be themselves, and we get a lot of creative things done. So they were able to come into the building and do everything from product displays, the window displays, so the customers can come past and see like a new, so something that catches their eye. So the kids working here from retail to design to inventory to even taking their own concepts and put them out there so someone can buy into that. Last week we sold a shirt that one of our students did, just playing around. And that shirt, a guy from Detroit came in and bought the shirt, and that youth worker got half the money just because they were able to tap in and be creative.
I like these hats and shirts.
Yeah, it's been really fun playing with the youth. It wouldn't even be like we're working, like we ain't playing around, but we're having fun. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great environment, and I'm happy to have them on board.
Well, another question I have is, what motivates you to, make artwork?
What motivates me to make artwork would be the shared experience you get when another person buys into the art or sees it, and it makes them ask a question like, "Oh, what is that?" or "Why did you do that?" Such like that communication is very important, and that exchange. I think because my art is more of a business, so I'm able to not just create for myself, but also create to profit. As far as like the wearable art sales, curating events, so it comes a little different than a normal. I just do this for fun. Now I do it because it's my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And now I don't forgot the question you asked. So, how is art important? Oh, that's not. What was the question again?
How is art? Oh, it says how do you motivate? How do you motivate?
This is a good footage. Oh yeah, so that's what motivates me. It's just that experience of being able to share. For a while, I couldn't even share my artwork. I had it in my house, and I didn't know how to take it out. So the community is what helps the art really get out there and share the stories that I wanted to share. So I'm definitely inspired by people in the community, and that interaction inspires me to keep going and keep creating.
Well, do you think art is important to society?
Art is very important to society because it is the stories that it can tell can last for years, whether you're young or old. And I think the good thing about my brand is it reaches a wide demographics, and I've seen what art can do when it enters into a society that's not used to it, not used to that colorful, clothing or colorful picture. And where we are now is a good example because some people in this area, we're in downtown Utah Street, some people in this area really want that breath of fresh air. Yeah. So to bring a gallery space downtown, it just creates a whole different feel for people when they come to the space. It feels different, it feels new, it feels fresh. And it's something they want to be a part of, whether they like art or not. It's still something different they can tap into and say, you know what, I'm proud of what you're doing, or I need my son to see this. And it makes people want to share it. And I think that's what's important to society, is to be able to impact communities that need that, a different look.
Well, is there any way specifically like you improve your art skills?
I would never improve my art skills. I'm gonna stay the same way at all times. No, that's not the answer. What would you say? Go back to that thing. How do you develop your art skills? Say the question again. You said it different.
I said, is there a specific way you develop your art skills?
Yeah, that's a good question. Specific way I develop my art skills. I think I like to develop my art skills. It's very random. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of my pieces that I do is random. I don't have to give it too much thought. I just tap in and create. Like I can walk past something that's blank to you, and I can see like angles where it can be a creative face, or take a structure and make it something else to tell a whole different story that you wouldn't expect it to be. Yeah. So a lot of times I'm very adaptive as well. Like I'm high energy, but I like to see the creativity in a lot of different things, or find art in different ways. The action, but I don't know. Let's let that go.
Yeah. So what would you say is your dream project, your dream art project?
I think I don't even really, you know what's funny? I can't even say I have a dream project. I think even a small project is a dream, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a creative, as somebody that likes to do things, I don't care what your background is. If you got a goal and you're trying to do it, you just gotta do something, you know what I'm saying? It don't have to be the best, it don't have to be perfect. But I think when I think of a dream project, it's saying like if you draw and you sketch something, guess what? You activated something in you. So it's like just to share it is a dream. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be like a major project, it be something small, but just be able to share it so someone else can see it. I think that's the dream project, is just keep creating, small or big.
Yeah. Well, I used to actually create art myself, but it just got boring to me. So I just stopped. I mean, it was not boring. It was just like, I don't know. I just got, because I was only really good at creating, like drawing anime characters. I was never really good at drawing anything else. I was like, I'm just trying to draw anime characters. But what's your experience in studying art and design? I mean, in school.
My experience with art in school.
Yeah.
Well, in high school, I remember my art teacher telling me that, like, you know, you'll be a good painter. And I never believed that. I never seen myself using any kind of paintbrush. And like I said, here we go. In 2014, guess what I started doing? Is painting some things. But so my experience was just like, art helped me get through situations. Like, you know, when I was in school, they had bullies and stuff like that. So my way to defend myself sometimes was me drawing pictures of people. So, oh, you want to talk with me? Look at that. Haha. I showed the whole class. So it was almost like art was like a weapon for me to speak my mind. I was a little shy. So I was able to talk through my art and handle situations through my art. Then that's what kind of got me through my early years of school. And then as I got older, like I went to animation school where I learned how to take these characters and give them different perspectives, different angles, not just a one-time flat drawing, but just like the different angles to see what a character looks like all the way around and break it down. So that's what school has helped me do, is like really network and just build a greater audience to share the art.
Well, don't you remember you just say like you use your art against people when you were trying to get? I do something similar. Like when I'm arguing with my friends and like they kind of win an argument, I'll just show like a versus photo I have of them in my phone.
Yeah, I mean, see, I was skinny. I was really, really skinny. I know you can't tell now, but I was very skinny in school. So it's like people gonna try to pick a little skinny kid, but I knew how to fight as well. Don't get it twisted. I knew how to fight. But drawing back then was like, it was cool because it helped me make friends. Oh, he can draw, so like it always created a conversation. If I wasn't the most vocal person, then like sharing my drawings, like, oh, let me see what you got. So a lot of times those drawings made me like a popular person in class because it allowed my art to be seen, even though I wasn't the person always getting all the, you know, whatever. Well, the art was definitely moving.
When did you start creating artwork?
I started creating artwork. Wait a minute, I'm looking here. I started creating artwork. I couldn't tell you. I was little. I was probably creating art before I could write my name. So I'm definitely really, really small.
Yeah.
So it was years ago, bro. Yeah.
Well, do you have any tips for new artists or artists that need help?
The tips I have for new artists or artists who need help is, first of all, you don't need help. You know what you gotta do? You just gotta create every day.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing right there, is to create every day and not make your success so high you can't reach it. Because like sometimes we put success like, oh, or for me, like you said, art got boring to you because you were used to drawing your style, but you probably start comparing to other people's styles. Like, oh, they doing this, I can't do it. So what you do, you cut yourself short because you're trying to make success being like your art has to be up here. But if you just take these small little things like, oh, I did that drawing, oh, I shared it with my cousin or whatever. Like these are, to me, as a success. So I think sometimes as a creative, we can't just, shoot for that high mark. We just tackle our creativity at small levels as well and just build up from there. And before you know it, once you have that regimen of creating every day, those small things become big things. And then before you know it, you're like, oh yeah, I am pretty good at what I do. I shouldn't be trying to compare myself. That's what actually got me caught up where I didn't create art, was comparing myself to other people and where I wanted to be based off of them. But then when you stay in your own lane, create what you want to create. Like my style of character is unique. And when people see it, they can say, oh, I know his work. So you stick to what you do, and then it'll make a way. It'll make a way for your whole brand, your whole creativity, and your voice to be heard. Man, just gotta read it every day.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting us interview you today. You was actually one of the best interviews I had.
As I should be.
And I really like your art. Your art is amazing.
It's okay.
What do you mean it's okay? I actually like it.
You should.
Hey, Y.B.E. Hope you liked the video. Like, comment, and subscribe.
No, we already did it.
I like it to be
Sometimes
funny.
the weird stuff is funny.
Right, though.
Good
It was
content.
funny, y'all.